Hey everybody. Yeah, so my name is Dominic Juarez. Currently, I'm a systems engineer at Boeing, but the route that I took to get there is probably super untraditional and unorthodox. And I would start by saying, like in high school, I grew up, well, first, I grew up very poor. When I say that, I say on Section 8 and housing, food stamps was how we ate or provided our food. But with that mind state, that was the one thing that motivated me to get into college and to go somewhere is because that was something I didn't want to do again. And I was just discussing the the pivotal point for me, which got me into STEM, was my chemistry class in high school. And in high school, we did this was it a lab where we mixed chemicals and then made some hand lotion. And so when I was doing that, I was like, oh, I can scale this production and I can sell it to people locally and have my own lotion going around. Um, and so that was my mind state. And unfortunately, I was expelled from school, so I had to go and get my GED. Now, what happened with that was when I got my GED, I went and enrolled into a program in Everett Community College. To it was called it's kind of like a similar like running start, but it was for youth that have dropped out of high school. And so it was called Youth 3 engagement. And so I pursued I took some courses to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And then one of the courses really kind of honed in on like, where do you want to project your career to go? And so what I did is I looked at the highest paid careers because again, like growing up in my background, I was like, money is the biggest barrier for my life. And so I don't want that to ever happen again. So I went for like the top three careers. That top three careers at the time was like a neurosurgeon. And I was like, I don't want anybody's lives in my hands. So I decided not to do that. And then also an anesthesiologist. And an anesthesiologist is the one that puts you to sleep. Um, and I was like, that also sounds very risky. And then the third one was an orthodontist. And so I went into school pursuing to be an orthodontist, took all my chemistry, my biology courses. And during that time when I was taking my biology courses, I got introduced to, was it biomechanical engineering and working with prosthetics. Um, but I was so determined to not change my major. I continued to pursue biology. I went to the UW Bothell campus and was pursuing biology. And then they had just introduced a mechanical engineering degree. And so I was like, I really want to do this mechanical engineering stuff, but I'll do bio as well. I tried to do that both, and that kind of failed miserably. So I decided to pursue mechanical engineering instead. Um, and then after I graduated with a degree in mechanical engineering, I got hired on CMAR Community Health Centers, with some experience that I did with 3D printing at the University of Washington. I went into CMAR as like a startup, kind of pioneering additive manufacturing is what they call it, but it's 3D printing within dental industry. So I helped CMAR get on that track to do 3D printing for different variety of specialties. So like for orthodontics, I can print out somebody's teeth, and the orthodontist can come in and kind of measure what they needed, the corrections that they needed to make. And so I got introduced to that. And what happened was I really liked what I was doing. And I loved being at CMAR, but there was somebody had told me about doing 3D printing at Boeing. And so I was like, okay, I didn't really care for Boeing or ever wanted to go to Boeing, but I was like, you know what, I might consider it. So I was going to a conference, NSBE convention, the National Society of Black Engineers convention, where like there's about 10,000 students that come there, 10,000 people that aggregate or congregate. And I stood in line in Boeing for like 2 hours, and I got to the front of the line and they said, I was looking for that 3D printing job and they didn't have it there. So after 2 hours of waiting, I just picked two random jobs, which was like R&D manufacturing and systems engineering. And because I waited for the 2 hours, I wasn't going to leave without getting at least an informal interview. And after I got in and I talked to the managers, the hiring managers, I got selected to go to both interviews, but then the systems engineering one was the one that I actually took. And that's kind of my long path to where I am now.